All right, welcome everybody to another edition of our basketball GM save, where we took over the Spirits of St. Louis. In real life, they took the payout from the NBA of basically a share of their TV contract, and that lasted until I think the early 2010s. And in this alternate reality, they decided to be part of the league, and we've had not the best beginning. We had two rough starts at the beginning. We had a solid third year, and last year we made the playoffs, but we should be a better team. Overall, looking at things. We have Bernard King, who should hopefully be finally a top tier player. We got Moses Malone, who's been a solid player so far. George McGinnis, Robichuk, and Irving, all veterans, including McGinnis, Irving, who got in a trade, who both have had not the who are both still down into their 30s. Maurice Lucas, who's another veteran who's been in the team since the beginning, who's had a bit of a drop. Mike Gale, who should hopefully be a better, basically bench guard. Swin Nader, who we got in a trade, who's a solid backup guard. Mike Green, who might be something. Sly Williams, same thing. Mike Barr and Al Skinner, unfortunately, Mike Barr is a free agent signing who's been okay as far as a bench player, but probably not worth 160K. Al Skinner was a part of a trade, but he's somebody who I might get rid of. Larry Drew is a free agent signing who's meh. Bill Laimbeer improved by being a second rounder. Cornelius Cash was a bit of a disaster, a free agent signing who we're going to trade away as soon as possible. And Greg Dean's a second rounder who's been a total bust. But let's at least go to the beginning of the season and see how things work out. So if we go to the preview, we have three of the top 5 players in the league, which should be something for us. So we're the second best player, but these ratings never really line up with how the game thing plays out. Because playing weights, injuries, and honestly, just people sometimes don't play up to the ratings. In a personal game I had Ron Artest in the early 2000s, and despite being a 60 rated player in that game, he was never a starter. But looking at our starting lineup, let's first get rid of the people who I know are going to be not that great. Yeah. Honestly, everybody under 45 can be a 0 timer. And then both of you guys can be minus, because then we'll have this nice solid nine person what's what I'm looking for here. And just because Bernard King has not been great the first couple of weeks of this first couple seasons he's been with us, so we'll have him earn his top spot in the lineup. But Malone and McGinnis have both been great. So and honestly, Irving's a little better than Robchitz. He's still Julius Irving. So we'll see how this goes as far as beating things. So let's get rolling with the first week of the season. Hopefully no injuries or anything. Okay, so this is a very good start. 6-1. I'm not going to complain at all. Matter of fact, I'm not going to change anything, despite some not great workings down here until we actually slow down a bit. So another week. Ooh, we got an injury, but yeah. Okay, so 10-3. So far, so good. I mean, you guys can just sorry, you're just not playing, and also more early in the season, but it's time to do some tradeaways now that we can. So Greg Dean and Al Skinner, none of you are playing. Let's see here. Lloyd Neal, Bernard Toon, maybe Lionel Hollins. Do we get anything if we throw in Atlanta's second rounder in here? Not really. I mean, yeah, we get a bunch of players who have big contracts we don't want to use probably. I mean, Junior Bourbon, but we would be upping our salary, and to play in some reality, we're probably trying not to do that. Scott Williams already hit his height, so he'll probably only get worse. Moravich is old, so yeah, I think. So yeah, I think because again, this is mostly just getting rid of some contracts from some old players. So yeah, I think we'll take. Well, no, I didn't realize he was 420K. Never mind. Honestly, I think Mike Flynn's our best ideal here. Yeah, he's 46 for 49. He's cheap, and he might be something eventually. So thank you, Mike Flynn. And even though you might be a starter, we are going to keep things exactly the same until we start like losing more games consistently, honestly. Okay, so 12 and 8, so we can actually do some like edits. Okay, so Mike Gale, you get to go down. We'll keep Lucas and Nader at their same spot. You guys are all within 20 of each other, so I'll let you play it out. I'll let Flynn play as like a part-time player to see if he does well, and if not, well, he doesn't get to play anymore. But looking at standings, we're still number 5 team. Like we're not the 10 and 14 we were at the beginning, but we sort of expected that. But yeah, we should be okay here. Like if we go another week, yeah. Again, 16 and 10. Number 4 seed, 7 and 3 so far. So doing well, doing well. If we're looking back at our lineup here, hold on. Malone is consistently getting injured, which is not great, but like it is what it is. Let's see here. Mike Gale can also go down to a part timer because like yeah, he's not hitting consistently above 10. Let's see here. Again, we're number 5 seed. We're within 2 games of the number 2 seed. So yeah, I'm not gonna be like that mad about things. All right, things are still going well. We're a streaky team, aren't we? But yeah. So we're 25 and 16. So what I'm going to do as a test, like, is because like here's the thing, is obviously like Malone and McGinnis are our best players. Like that's just like truth. Like everybody else could be maybe good, but like yeah, Malone and McGinnis. So I'm going to push their playing time up a chunk, and I'm going to hope they don't get injured. And yeah, so let's just go a week and see if like again if okay that's so again we look at standings. Okay, yeah that was a complete failure. Okay, looks like you you try things. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. But we'll just have to continue to go forward here. Yeah. Or also that could have been just a very rough like schedule. But hey, we just won 2 straight after going back to our regular. So I mean, yeah, well we can win a couple games and we'll be back. Like also the Nets and Knicks had a hot streak. So yeah. But yeah, if we go to the trade deadline here, okay, so of our people who aren't okay, so here's the thing: is Mike Gale's not doing great, and neither is Mike Flynn. Could we trade? Could we turn them into a better a better guard segment? And that would let's just like do a quick search. So, hey, Mike Gale, Mike Flynn, is there anybody who you guys want? Let's see here. I mean, Dave Filshik, but he's a 52-52. I mean, Tom Burleson's a center, but unfortunately, we have enough of those. Expensive, very expensive. Okay. I mean, it was worth a shot. Let's see here. If we throw in our second rounder from Atlanta, does that change anything? Not really. Like, we get, again, Twitches, but he's expensive. Um, Phil Smith's, yeah, again, he's like really expensive. So yeah, okay. Nope. Wait, we're back. Like again, we're like one hot streak away from being like a number 2 or 3 seeds. So how about we don't lose games, guys? That would be great. All right, so we're at 31-24. Standing wise, I mean, we're still number 6 seed, I think, just because everybody else did basically the same as we are. Unfortunately, like a top level finish, it might be out of things, but we'll at least go to the playoffs and until the All Star break and see who is part of the team. Okay, so let's see who made it. Okay, so Moses Malone made it. Kareem's still part of it, even though he's 34. Joe Carroll, Tree Rollins, Kent Benson, Reggie Theus, George Gervin. Larry Keaton's injured, but he would have been part of it. On the other side, we've got Magic, Jack Sigma, Hodis Bergtsong, Pete Maravich, Rick Barry. So interesting. If we look like people like Arch Gilmore's at his 5th, Rick Barry's at his 11th. Kareem, I'm sure, has is like 12. So yeah, interesting. And we look at the standings. Yeah, we're still decent. I want like one good winning streak to sort of get us like safely into the playoffs. But I mean, here's the thing: is like, yeah, I mean, we could maybe like there. If we're just basically playing a 7 team, like a 7 person lineup, maybe that's what we need to do here, and we'll see if that actually helps at all. So a week. I'm 4-2, so that we're again like top 4 finally seems to be running away. Knicks had a 7 game winning streak. Bullets had a 5 game winning streak. So yeah. But on the other hand, like we're clear of Cleveland and the Bulls, it looks like, unless they do really well. So yeah, we'll do another week here. Well, did that really affect like yeah. Mike Flynn, God. Okay, Flynn just might not be anybody who like plays, unfortunately. And yeah, move Ropshith up slightly. Yeah, I think that's about as all we can do here. Okay, so we're 41-30. If we look at the standings here, okay, so we're up to number 5 seed, so that's solid. Nets have had a rough streak. We're probably not going to be able to make it to the Bucks. Both the Bulls and Knicks have gone crazy. Like they're actually striking the Celtics. We look at the West. It's basically the Lake show, and whoever else shows up. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, another week. I mean, okay, now this is not actually our best. We got Lucas, who is actually going to be injured out for another few games, so that's not going to be great. But yeah, if we look at our standings though, we're still the number 5 seed. Yeah, we're either going to be the number 5 seed or the number 6 seed. We're kind of worried about Bulls now because they've won 5 in a row. So hopefully we don't blow it in sort of like the last bit here. But yeah, like, I mean, our team is our team, unfortunately. Like, yeah, like, let's just play this one game at a time. All right, so we won, which puts us at, okay, so a half game in front of the Nets. Bulls are still winning games, which is unfortunate. Lucas is still out. We didn't play. So let me see here. Okay, I mean, Bulls won another one, so they're like 3 games out from us. That's not great. I mean, it's really the Nets in more trouble here, but another win would be great, guys. Like win so we can like be out of this. Yay! Okay, so we clinched a playoff spot, which is good. Um, so yeah, we lost. So let's see here, standings wise. Okay, we're too clear from the Spirits with 2 games left. So I think we've clinched the number 5 spot. Which again, not the best, but like could be a lot worse. Okay, so we won. And for our last game of the season, we lost. Okay, so 46 and 36. Number 5 seed, not our best. But unfortunately, like if we look at things, our problem is our bench did not even play up to the ratings. Like Mike Gale should be like a solid like backup point guard, and he was like barely playable. Sway Nader did well, but he like slowed down. Our starters again, Bernard King is a 20-point player, but he's like not that great outside of that. Moses Malone was great. McGinnis is still a solid player. Robichus and Irving are getting old. Like we have some real questions. Like Robichus, we're probably not going to bring back. Same thing with Nader, just because of their cost. But yeah, even Lucas, we might have to think about. Obviously, like yeah, these guys all did not play at all, which is fine. But yeah, like we're going to have to like see what we can do here. What we're going to do, even though it didn't work out last time, is I think McGinnis might have been too much, but I think we can make Malone play more time in the playoffs and see how it goes. So again, if we look at the full standings, the Knicks slowed down at the end there. The Celtics kind of fell apart, and the Bullets were super hot. Like, I'm just wondering, did they have like anybody who was like injured? No, like all their starters played, so they just got hot at the end. That Jim Paxson, Dave Corzine connection. Did the Celtics like have anybody who was injured near the end? No, everybody like played all their games, so that's interesting. It's ironic they have Robert Parrish. Like that's sort of funny. But yeah, Bulls were hot at the end, but they just like conference record. Like they just had a. Now I'm questioning about the Bulls. No, like they're just. I guess their team just didn't like solidify till the end there. Out west, the Lakers are the Lakers. Everybody else was who they were. Like yeah, this was basically the playoff lineup from probably like half the season. All right. So if we'll go to our schedule, and if we play a game, we won that 83-62, or we lost that 83-62. Marcus Lewis is out, but he'll be playing. But yeah, all these guys not like these guys like not playing is fine. Irving. Okay, so despite Malone got into foul trouble. Well, no, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see if we can pull it off. Okay. Playoffs. Right, I forgot these are best of 3. So yeah, we lost first 2. Oh well. I mean, it is what it is. Like, not the end of the world here. So yeah, it's San Diego pulled off the big upset. Like, was anybody injured for Seattle? No, Seattle just blew it. That's quite unfortunate for them. Bill Walton, Bob McAdoo, the Twin Towers kicking ass. No, actually, it was Hawkeye Whitney going insane. Yeah, wow, big loss for Seattle. Like, let's see, any big upsets here in second round? Survey says nope. I mean, New York upset Washington, but like these are only like teams that were like 4 teams apart. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Like they got hot, and then New York got hot, and like yeah, like outside of basically the top 4 in the East, were all like basically the same team. So again, go to the end of the round here. Let's see what happens, and we're waiting. We're waiting. Come on, you can do it. New York continues their hot streak. Okay, and they get in finals versus Los Angeles. So Los Angeles, Los Angeles, New York comes back. New York comes back. New York. Is it happening? The New York Knickerbockers upset the Lakers. Oh my god. MVP was Kelvin Ramsey. Let's see here. We got second player, second team all defense, first team all defense. But yeah, let me look at the actual schedule because I want to see like what happened with that, Yeah, this is gonna take forever to load up because we didn't yeah. Come on, you can do it, computer. I got faith in you. Come on, guys. But yeah, okay, maybe. So for a quick look of how New York pulled this off, honestly, in Game 3, the Lakers just shot terribly. Meanwhile, Kelvin Ramsey, Lonnie Shelton, Freeman Williams all went off. And then Game 4, same thing. Like they just shot they just shot like 33%. McCall Thompson went 5 for 16. The bench was not great. And on the other hand side, like the bench, I mean, Bill Cartwright, Daryl Darkins, like their bench was actually showed up for Game 2 or Game 4 here. Game 5, okay, I mean, this is a very solid game from both sides here. Yeah, I mean, Lagarde and Dunn went crazy. So did McCall Thompson, but yeah, the Knicks just pulled it off in overtime. And then in Game 4, they just didn't show up. Like Tom Lagarde got 21, McCall Thompson went only 2 for 6. And yeah, Phil Hubbard, but then they just had a great. So yeah, can't really fault the. Oof. Okay. Finances. Oh yeah, that's something I might have to look into. Is maybe turning on God mode because I don't care about finances. I mean, I'll look over it like when we come back here. So if you draft the lottery, is it going to be Dallas or San Antonio getting the number 1 pick? And it is going to be Dallas. Hurrah! And we do not. Oh my God. Dallas might have the 2 top. Oh my God. Okay, that's actually interesting to see if they do well. Philadelphia. God. Wait, who has okay, so Philly has our draft pick. Philly has like what? Philly has 1, 2. So okay, so they've just like yeah, okay. Yeah, now I'm actually curious to who Dallas picks up here because it is Margaret Wire, which is listed in real life. Isaiah goes to the Spurs, and Steve Johnson. Oof. Okay, maybe not the best pick there. Alwood. Okay. I'm just. Yeah, let's go to our. Yeah, okay. So we finally have a second round pick here. But yeah, let me just looking over things. So Orlando Woolridge goes to the Suns. Buck Williams goes to again, just like real life. Tom Chambers goes to Philly. Kelly Tripucka goes to Utah. Orlando Blackman goes to Utah. They're also another team who should be a lot better if their signings pull out. Who do we? Okay, Kevin Lowe. Okay, we probably could have picked up Alton Lister, but we already have 2 centers. But maybe that we would have traded somebody away. Okay, so options. We need a guard. Clay Johnson. We'll see if you're anything of worth. And now, okay, so now this is gonna be tough as far as like re-signing people because like we have like lots of very. Okay, yeah, we have basically our whole bunch up for it. Okay, so Moses Malone Moses Malone, you just automatically get there. God. I mean, no, the rest of you guys. I mean, George McGinnis. Can we sign you for less time? Yeah. Okay, 2 years. Outside of that, only because their minimum contract guys is I'll pick up Galen Nader. But yeah, Barr and Green, you guys release us. Dave Roputus, God, I mean, again, we'll another year, and then you'll be trade bait if you drop below much. Okay? So if we go into free agency, and we're going to see if there's anybody of use we can see here. And again, we're going to try to keep things like realistic. Like obviously we could just like sign every available free agent, but that would make no sense. Even if we change things over to God mode. Okay, so and honestly, like yeah, there's not a ton of great players here. Like honestly, I mean we might bring back Green Bar just because like they're like because they're it's the best like we're probably not bringing back Bar just because he was like terrible. But like all these guys, like there's not much like okay, again, if we look at our current roster, we're still a solid team. Like we still have all our starters. We have some hopefully like Bill Laimbeer should hopefully get better. Same thing with Larry Drew. We have got Sly Williams who should hopefully turn into something. So actually, yeah, I think we're fine. I think what we're doing is we're going to do the free agency. We're going to go pick up Mike Green. We're going to sign him to a 1-year contract. And if he's trash, then we'll trade him away. Like we have like lots of trade bait actually. Like yeah, we have like lots of expiring contracts who we can basically let go. But just as a like test here though, is I'm going to let things run through a week. And I'm going to see if there's like anything worth picking up. Like anybody actually like cheap. Okay. No. Like no. Yeah, there's like nobody even like young. Like even with like a potential. Like there's this 43 and 50 guy, but he's still asking for 170K. Like yeah, I'm gonna give things another week and see if anybody like pop. Okay, yeah, nope. I mean, oh, yeah, no, like there's like nobody of worth. We are going to the preseason, and we're going to see how our team uh, ends up in the preseason here. And I think we'll probably like just because we didn't do much this year, it's okay. Oof. Okay. This is unfortunate. Okay, so Moses Malone, he's a little worse. That's unfortunate. George McGinnis has actually might have hit the wall being 32. Bernard King, unfortunately, is on his downward spiral at 26. Dave Roshik is just no good. Maurice Lucas held off though, and he's still a starter. If we're just arranging people by like their ratings, like Mike Green's up to a 50. Bill Laimbeer is your new starting center. Wow. Congratulations to him. Larry Drew is still not worth anything. Yeah, we might already hit a spot where we're looking to trade some people in the offseason because, yeah. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of people that we can't trade away because we just signed them. Like, we're going to go through our first like couple weeks of the season here, I think. And then we're just gonna see what fucking happens because like we don't know, like legitimately. Like yeah, like Rope just immediately like yeah, but like basically our whole entire bench. Even Lucas, like Lucas might be something we trade away just so we can get off his contract, so we have the space. Like let's just see what we get for him, like just by himself. All right. Obviously, worse players, but younger players at least. Like if we throw in both available, like both of these second rounders, do we get anybody better? I mean, we get back Barry, but he's even older, and he actually has a contract till next year, so that's not good. I mean, Ken Charles, who's worse, who's better. I mean, like we have a starting center and a backup center. Like is this the end of the Lucas era? Let me look at old Ken Charles here. How has he done as an actual player? I mean, he's been a solid starter. Like let's look at his advanced stats. Okay, so PRY he's been a solid like 13, 14. Esmond was added. He's been basically a league average player. And let's be honest here, do we really care about these additional second rounders? Not really. And we need a better bench. Like we just need a better bench. Yeah. Yeah, I think we totally do it. Especially since they're rebuilding and they can take the money. So, Ken Charles. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, all of a sudden and also like yeah, after this, all of a sudden like our contracts are like our payments are a lot better. I mean, Lucas is in his last year of his contract anyway, so all right, so yeah, no, yeah, like now all of a sudden we're okay. Like we're not as good as we want to be because of like the bottom. Like I wonder if there's a way to get somebody better with Nader and Flynn, or like we can't. I mean, honestly, we're probably going to trade away Rob Schitz and honestly probably Sly Williams because he dropped off. Like if we can trade away these two guys, and get somebody who can work as a like guard, we'll see. But honestly, I think that's a solid. We'll go to the beginning of the season. We'll see what the other leaguers look like and do a quick little run over. But yeah, I think this is as good as we can do here. Laimbeer should hopefully be our start. Like Laimbeer, like Malone and King dropping off is worrying, but I hope yeah, that's not the end of the world for the team. McGinnis, McGinnis unfortunately, like this might be the end of his run. Like he did only sign a 2-year contract, so I expected this to drop off. Like I was worrying about like maybe drop to like low 50s, but if he's a mid 50 player for the next 2 years, like that's perfectly solid. But yeah. But let's go to the beginning of the season, see if anybody like was a lot better, and just see how things rolls out there. All right, so. All right. Well, we no longer have two of the best players, two of the top 5 players, so that's no good. Benson, Hawkeye Whitney is surprisingly good. Adrian Dantley, Magic, Kiki, Bernard King fell off. Unfortunately, Kareem is still solid. So yeah, looking at Mark Aguirre, Dallas is okay, 55-57, still not terrible. Looks like Franklin Edwards might be the steal of the draft along with Charles Davis, but we'll see. Okay, so so we're still the number 5. Now we're the number 5 team. Nets are a lot better, a point better, and Sonics are about the same. Knicks are 2 better, and they won the titles last year. The Bulls might be actually dangerous. The Daleks are 48 better because they have like actual good players on their team now. Also, did the Dallas? Okay, Dallas might be okay. So here's what Dallas has done in the last 2 years. They had Kiki last year with the 10th pick, and he gained. They got Johnson with the 3rd pick, which was meh, but they got Aguirre, who seemed like he should be good, and then they also signed Michael Ray Richardson, who was the number one, the number one free agent last year. So yeah, they'll be probably a contender if I'm looking at things. Again, if we just look at the power rankings to start the year, we're the number 3 team in the look at how the East is. Like there's basically 4 good teams, and then like in the West, and then even Dallas, who I think could be a playoff. So yeah. If I had to honestly guess, like number 3, we're strength was number 3, speed we're number 2. If we look at our shooting, our offensive IQ is great. We have actually great offensive and defensive IQ, which is good. Dribbling we're mid, passing we're mid, rebounding we're good. Inside we're bad actually. Yeah. So it's interesting. We're the number 1 team with endurance, so that's good. Jumping wise, we're like meh. So that's sort of interesting. Like we're a strong endurance team who's very smart, but we suck on the inside, which is interesting. Yeah, like last year we ended the season I think as we were the number 6 team power ranking wise, which is interesting considering the ratings. Anyway, though, yeah, the Knicks who won the title were below us, so that's interesting. Again, if we look at the team stats from last year, if we look at our field goal percentage, we were a mid-tier team. If we look at our rebounds, we were the number 1 team. If we look at our assists, we were near the bottom. If we look at our turnovers, we were near the top, though, so that helps. Steal-wise, we were near the bottom. Block-wise, we were near the bottom. Total points, we were a mid-table team there. And margin of victory, we were a mid-table team, which explains why we were a mid-table team overall. If we look at the advanced stats, so we basically were a little better than our per win. Offensive rating, we were a terrible offensive team, which is sort of makes sense because, defensive rating with those wise, we were the number 2 defense in the league, which makes sense. We had Malone, King, these guys. Pace, we were number 3. Total shots percentage, we were a mid-table team. Turnover percentage wise, we were actually pretty high, unfortunately. Offensive rebound, those we were number 1, so that's interesting. Free throws, we were pretty good. That sort of thing. It's if you look at the Knicks ratings, they were the Knicks were a very good offensive team. If you look at offensive ratings, you sort of see things. Considering how bad we were, it's a shocker we were this good overall. So yeah, I think honestly, this just tells me we need a lot better offense. We need and that's sort of what I thought is we need a second good, great offensive player to go with Malone, and Bernard King was supposed to be that guy, but he just hasn't been so far. But hey, we'll have to see what happens this next season. That's it for now. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a like, comment below what you're liking and not liking, and subscribe to the channel for plenty of content like this. My TW 2020 content, including my WCW 2005 series and my Ring of Honor series, some Journey Wrestling, and hopefully maybe some more Paradox stuff, including Victoria 3 and Crusader Kings 2. But that's it for now, and so talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.